Welcome everyone to the deep dive. You know that feeling, right? That buzz in the air after a massive fight. Well, just try and picture yourself right there, Wembley Stadium, soaking it all in just moments after Oleksandr Usyk's pretty magnificent round 5 demolition of Daniel Dubois. What a performance.
Oh, absolutely dominant. You felt it right through the screen, didn't you?
Totally. And we're talking about a genuine titan here. Usyk isn't just a great fighter anymore. People are calling him a generational great, maybe the best heavyweight since Lennox Lewis.
And you can see why. Undisputed champion, cruiserweight first, now heavyweight. That's rare air.
It really is. 24 fights, 24 wins, 15 KOs. And look who he's beaten. Fury, Dubois, Anthony Joshua. All of them twice. I mean, that kind of record, it kind of speaks for itself, wouldn't you say?
It absolutely does. He's cemented a legacy that most fighters can only dream about. He's really set a new standard.
So, okay, he's just done this incredible thing again. The big question we're diving into today is, well, who's next? What does the undisputed champ do now?
Right. The boxing world is buzzing with that exact question. And the sources, well, they paint a few different, pretty compelling pictures.
It really raises that classic boxing dilemma, doesn't it? Does he go for the biggest money fights, the ones maybe the casual fans want, or does he stick to the more traditional path, the mandatories?
Exactly. And that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to unpack everything what the promoters are saying, what Usyk himself has said to help you understand the arguments for each potential opponent and, why this choice really matters. Not just for Usyk's career, but kind of for boxing history itself.
Okay, let's get into it. First, maybe just a quick look back at that Dubois fight. You called it dominant. The sources say utterly imperious. That brutal left hand in the fifth.
Wow. Yeah, and the stats back it up, right? CompuBox had Usyk landing, 57 of 153? That's over 37%.
Well, Dubois was under 20%, landed only 35 punches.
Well, it showed the levels.
It really did. A proper masterclass. Now, after a win like that, you might expect him to be calling someone out immediately, right? Like, bring on the next guy.
But actually, his first comments were quite different. He basically said, I want to rest. He talked about his family, his wife, his kids, said he needs 2 or 3 months just to rest.
Yeah, and he also talked about that mindset of his. It's fascinating. He says he doesn't really rely on motivation.
Oh, the discipline thing.
Right,
Oh.
exactly. He says motivation comes and goes, but discipline. That's what gets him up for training every single day, even when he doesn't feel like it. 3.5 months in camp, away from everyone. That takes serious discipline.
It totally does. That's probably why he's achieved what he has, that focus. But even with wanting rest, he did kind of give us a little short list, didn't he? Knowing the questions would come.
He did. 4 names. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Derek Chisora, and Joseph Parker.
And it's interesting, isn't it? 3 of those 4 guys.
Yeah.
He's already beaten, some of them twice.
Right. Which leads us straight into the debate. Who should it be? Now, for me, if you look at the immediate situation, the rules, the official stuff, it points pretty strongly towards Joseph Parker.
Okay, the mandatory argument.
Exactly. Parker is the WBO mandatory challenger. And Usyk's own promoter, Frank Warren, was very clear straight after the fight. He said, and I'm quoting here, the WBO say he has to fight Joseph Parker next, so that will be the fight.
That is a strong statement from his own promoter. Can't ignore that.
It's pretty direct, right? And Parker isn't just some guy filling a mandatory spot. He's actually on a serious roll.
Yeah, he's looked really good lately.
He's in the best form of his life, people are saying. Look at the recent wins. Deontay Wilder, Zhilei Zhang, Martin Pololi. Those are solid names.
Impressive, yeah. Can't deny that.
And let's not forget, he's held that WBO belt before, beat Andy Ruiz for it back in 2016. His promoter, David Higgins, is making noise too. Says it would be an outrage if Parker doesn't get the shot.
He's pushing hard for his guy. Makes sense.
Higgins even said Usyk has to beat Joseph Parker as well to really claim he's the best of this era because he hasn't fought him yet. And honestly, for you listening, wouldn't a fresh matchup, someone Usyk hasn't faced before, be more interesting right now instead of another rerun?
That's a very fair point about a fresh challenge. And Parker's resurgence is definitely real. He's earned his spot, no doubt. But let's be honest about heavyweight boxing, the biggest fights.
Yeah.
They don't always follow the mandatory path, do they?
You mean the money talks?
Well, yeah. You just cannot ignore the sheer public demand for AJ versus Fury, even though Usyk beat both of them twice. Eddie Hearn still calls it the biggest fight in boxing, what everyone in the world wants to see.
Even now. after Usyk schooled them both.
Even now, the commercial appeal is just massive. And look at Fury himself. Technically retired, but still calling Usyk out, talking about a trilogy fight in, what, April 2026?
Yeah, I saw that.
So for Usyk, maybe it's not just about the WBO belt. Maybe it's about the spectacle, the history, frankly, the massive payday those fights bring.
Okay, but where does sporting merit fit in? I mean, ESPN had a pretty cutting take on Parker. They said, it is hard to envisage how a resurgent Parker will threaten Usyk's legacy. They basically said Usyk's skills are just on another level.
That's a tough assessment from ESPN. Ouch.
So, if Usyk wants to be seen as an all-time great, shouldn't he be taking the toughest available challenge, not just the biggest payday against guys he's already handled?
That's the purest argument, and it's strong. But here's another angle. What if Usyk, who, sometimes seems to listen to what the public wants, what if he's tempted by that spectacle? Or what about a totally different kind of challenge?
What do you mean?
Think about Turki Alalshikh, the man basically bankrolling big-time boxing right now. His opinion carries a lot of weight, and he didn't say Fury or Joshua. He said, I want to see Usyk against Itauma. This is the fight.
Moses Itauma. Wow, okay. The young British prospect.
Exactly. Moses Itauma, rising star, blistering fighting style, people comparing him to a young Mike Tyson. He's 12-0, 10 KOs.
But come on, he hasn't fought anyone near Usyk's level yet. Is that a serious suggestion for next?
Maybe not purely on competitive merit for the very next fight, I grant you that, but think strategically. Usyk's hinted he might only have 2 more fights left. Does he take the mandatory Parker fight now? Or does he look at the bigger picture, a massive Fury trilogy? Or maybe something like Itauma, a new exciting face, a potential passing of the torch kind of fight. That offers a different kind of legacy boost, maybe. And a different kind of payday, too.
The next generation angle.
Yeah. And remember, Usyk himself put Fury and Joshua on his own list, so he's clearly thinking about those big names, too. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What matters most to him right now? The rules, the money, the legacy, a new challenge.
It's that constant battle in boxing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got the governing bodies, the WBO saying Parker's next. He's earned it. He's the mandatory.
Free official route.
Then you've got the huge commercial appeal of Fury or AJ, even his rematches. And then this wild card, Itauma, pushed by a major financial backer. It's a tricky spot for a champion.
It really is. And the fact Usyk said he wants to rest first just adds to the intrigue. It gives all these different factors time to bubble up and play out, keeps us all guessing.
So if we try and pull all these threads together, Usyk wanting rest, the mandatory situation, the promoters, the other big names, what's the most likely scenario for his very next fight?
Well, look, while Fury and AJ are always going to be huge potential fights down the road, and Itauma is definitely an exciting name for the future, that immediate pressure from the WBO, plus Frank Warren coming out so strongly, it really does seem to point towards Joseph Parker being the most probable immediate next opponent.
I think I have to agree with that. At the end of the day, Parker is the mandatory. Usyk's own promoter publicly backed that fight happening next. The WBO say he has to fight Joseph Parker next, so that will be the fight.
Yep.
It feels like the most logical, most immediate step based on everything we know right now. It fits the rules, it fits what the promoter said, and Parker's on Usyk's list.
It's the most straightforward path, really. Doesn't mean it's the only path he could take, but it seems the most likely one, given the current boxing politics.
Okay, so just to recap our deep dive for everyone listening.
Yeah.
Weighing all the sources, the arguments, the mandates. We've landed on Joseph Parker as the consensus pick for Usyk's next opponent.
Seems the probable outcome in the short term, yeah. The WBO mandate and Warren's statement are pretty compelling evidence for now.
And, Usyk's place in history, it's already secure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Undisputed in 2 weights, beating the best. It's incredible.
Absolutely. And whoever he fights next, Parker, Fury again later, maybe Itauma, eventually just adds another chapter to that amazing story.
Definitely. But here's something maybe to leave you, the listener, thinking about. Usyk's nearing the end, maybe just a couple more fights. That Fury trilogy is apparently penciled in for 2026.
Right. So the final thought is this. Will these last few fights, whatever they turn out to be, elevate him even higher? Could he actually end up being argued as the greatest heavyweight of all time? Better than the Klitschko's, right up there at the very, very top.
Something to ponder while we wait to see who he actually steps in the ring with next.